So today is Good Friday, and I often wonder what's so good about Good Friday? I mean, shouldn't it be called Tragic Friday, Horrible Friday, or at least Bad Friday? I mean, this is not a good day. This is the day when Jesus gets killed. What's so good about that? Well, I want to argue that Good Friday is good because it transforms our understanding of who God is. Generally, we think of God as this all powerful being that exists somewhere way out there, striking lightning bolts down here on those who sin against God. But what Good Friday does is flip that understanding of God upside down. And I want to get at this through a story about the Holocaust. And what happens in the Holocaust in this story is that there are some Jews who end up trying to escape a concentration camp. Well, the prison guards find out about it and they want to make an example out of these Jews. And so what they end up doing is hanging them. And they have a crowd watching this happen. And they end up saying to the crowd, "Where is your God now?" You see, these prison guards, they have this idea of an all-powerful God who stops our violence against one another, who protects God's people, who has these lightning bolts against those who sin against God. But these Jews see God in a completely different way. And so what they end up saying in response is, "There's our God." And they point to those men who are hanging and dying. And what they're saying, what they see so clearly that the prison guards can't see, is that God is radically present in our world. And God is with the victims of our violence. This is where you primarily find God, with those who suffer. And this is the message of Good Friday. You see, here Jesus takes up all of this violence that humans flict upon him, and he doesn't get caught up in our violence. This is what we end up doing. We end up responding to violence with violence of our own in order to protect ourselves. But Jesus, who Christians say represent who God is, doesn't get caught up in that retribution, in that revenge, in that inflicting violence for violence. Jesus doesn't get caught up in an economy of violence, and so neither does God. What Jesus shows us is that even when we do our worst to God, God offers forgiveness in return. Jesus says on the cross, "Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do." Here we see the transformation of God. God is not this all-powerful entity somewhere way up out there, lightning bolt all over the place. God is the one who offers forgiveness. God is the one who stands with the victims of our violence and offers forgiveness in return. Now, many people want to say that Jesus here might be letting us off the hook, but that's not what he's doing. Throughout his whole life, Jesus has been inviting us to follow him in caring for the sick, in giving sight to the blind, in healing those who are ill, in feeding those who are hungry, giving water to those who thirst, clothing the naked. This is what Jesus is all about. It's the transformation of what it means to be human, and it's the transformation of what it means for us to understand who God is. God is with the victims of culture. God is even the one who dies at the hands of humans. This is so radical in the world. You don't see this anywhere else except for in the Judeo-Christian tradition. This is the radical transformation of the understanding of who God is. That is what is so good about Good Friday. And Jesus, even when he's dying on the cross, invites us to live into this transformation, into the spirit of forgiveness. That's how the world is going to be transformed, by participating in what Jesus is doing. Now, that's what is so good about Good Friday. And tomorrow we'll talk about what's so great about Holy Saturday. And then Sunday we'll talk about Easter. So I'd love to hear your thoughts, and hope you'll join me next time. Bye.